In August 1977, Enfield, North London was just a quiet neighbourhood where nothing ever happened, until it did. A single mother, 4 children, and something unnatural. It began like any other night. 11-year-old Janet Hodgson and her brother Johnny were getting ready for bed. Knocking, but not from the front door. It came from the walls, from within the house itself. Drawers flew open, furniture scraped across the floor, and then a heavy chest of drawers moved by itself, trapping the children in the room. Peggy Hodgson rushed in, expecting to scold misbehaving children, but what she saw froze her in her place. The drawers were impossibly wedged against the door, and then a chair flips over on its own. The family fled into the night, but this was only the beginning. Not knowing what to do next, Peggy called the police. 2 officers arrived.
It came off the floor, or nearly a half inch, I should say, and I saw it slide off to the right, about 3.5 to 4 feet before it came to rest. I checked to see whether or not it could possibly have slid along the floor. I placed a marble on the floor to see whether or not the marble would go in the same direction as the chair did, and it didn't roll at all. I checked for wires under the cushion of the chair, and I could find no explanation at all.
For the next several weeks, objects flew across the room, cold spots chilled the air, disembodied voices echoed in the dark. And then, the entity began to speak.
When did the voices start?
December the 12th.
December the 12th?
Yes.
And how did they start?
Well, one night Mr. Grove was talking about it about 8:30. He said, all we need now is the voices to talk. And that night I went to bed and I can't remember exactly what happened. And
What's that knocking?
yeah, that's, I can hear it now. I was doing that yesterday morning and Peggy was on her own. So she come in to us, because it wasn't her, she come in. We sat together and we heard it. And I counted down the knocks and there was 14 altogether.
And do you get the feeling when you hear the voice that there is a person there?
Yes.
Yeah. And do they tell you much about themselves?
Not really, no.
They just tend to growl and...
Play around and sort of joke and be silly. Yeah.
I wonder, do you think there's anyone there just now?
Yeah, I do.
Who's that?
What?
Who's that, Janet?
Pardon? Stuart Certain.
Stuart Certain, and he's one of the voices.
Yeah.
Thursday fortnight, I did. I went blind. Then I had an hemorrhage, and I fell asleep, and I died in a chair in the corner downstairs.
That voice came from 11-year-old Janet Hodgson, but medical experts confirmed her vocal cords weren't producing it. It sounded like a man. The voice claimed to be of Bill Wilkins, a man who had died in the house years earlier, and horrifically, that fact checked out. Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair moved into the house, staying for months. They recorded over 2,000 unexplained incidents, levitations, flying objects, cold breezes, and even Janet appearing to bend backwards in mid-air. Skeptics called it jumping, but the investigators insisted this was no prank. Among the most famous names to visit the house were Ed and Lorraine Warren, the American demonologist renowned for investigating cases like Amityville and Annabelle. They believed the Enfield case was the work of a demonic presence. Though their involvement was brief, Ed Warren would later claim there was no doubt in his mind this house was haunted. Their presence added international attention and even more controversy to an already unbelievable story. Despite the mass public interest and ever-growing evidence, not everyone believed. Accusations of faked phenomena surfaced. A few pranks were admitted by the children, but only a few. Still, the phenomena continued, too strange, too numerous to explain why. By 1979, the activity slowed and eventually stopped. The family moved on, but Janet never truly escaped.
No one could fake something like that. They'd have to be a very good 11-year-old actor.